I welcome Ms. Krishna Priya Prem Kumar for prayer.
ലോകേ ഗണായക രക്ഷിക്കുഞങ്ങളെ അഹിതമാമ തിരൻ ദാനമെന്നേകി മനരാരിൽ നിന്നും വിലങ്ങളുടെ ശുദ്ധിയിൽ ചിരമായി വളരട്ടെ ഞങ്ങളിൽ ഭക്തി സമഭാവ സർഗങ്ങൾ കണ്ണീരൊഴുക്കി ഹൃദയങ്ങൾ സ്നേഹാദ്രസാഗരമാക്കി സമഭാസർഗങ്ങൾ കണ്ണീരൊഴുക്കി ഹൃദയങ്ങൾ സ്നേഹാദ്രസാഗരമാക്കി കൈകോർത്ത് യോജിച്ചു മുന്നോട്ട് പോവാൻ കാരുണ്യവാനേ സദ്ബുദ്ധിയേകൂ.
Thank you, Krishna Priya. Now I welcome Ms. Namita P., Assistant Professor, CSE Department, also the FDP Coordinator, for the welcome address.
A warm and pleasant good morning to one and all present here. On behalf of CSE Department of Vimal Jyoti Engineering College, I welcome every one of you to the Faculty Development Program on Advances in Natural Language Processing using AI. A man with great vision and mission, the pillar of success. He is none other than our beloved principal, Dr. Benny Joseph sir. I welcome you, sir. Now I warmly and respectfully welcome our Vice Principal, Dr. Thomas Vadake Mulanjangal, the real strength of this college. I welcome you, sir. Now I feel happy to welcome Dr. Jiduvi Devasya, HOD of CSE, who has been the backbone of this event. I welcome you, ma'am. Moreover, I welcome Mr. Rajesh sir, member of CSI Trivandrum chapter. The presence of such a personality in this occasion is a blessing, and we are very thankful to him for taking the time out of his busy schedule and making the presence here. I welcome you, sir. I extend my welcome to all the faculties and participants who are all gathered here. Once again, welcome you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Namita ma'am. A good leader is a person who takes a little more than his share of the blame and a little less than his share of the credit. I welcome Dr. Jiduvi Devasya, HOD CSE Department and the FDP convener, for giving the introduction to the FDP.
Good morning all. Respected Principal Dr. Benny Joseph, Dr. Father Thomas Vadake Mulanjangal, Vice Principal of Vimal Jyoti Institute of Management and Research, Rajesh sir, Management Executive Committee member of Kabir Society of India Trivandrum chapter, dear participants and my dear colleagues. One of the popular videos in social media among we techies in the year 2021 was Google CEO Sundar Pichai's keynote about natural language understanding Lambda. It itself shows that a lot of research is being carried out in the field of natural language processing, especially or even by tech giants like Google. We know that all these breakthroughs are happening because of the interconnections among different technologies like artificial intelligence and its subfields such as machine learning and deep fielding. Definitely, advances happening in the field of NLP will cause big leaps in common people's life. Barriers due to different languages across the globe would get narrowed down. The aim of this FTP on advances in natural language processing using artificial intelligence is to provide insights into NLP using AI technologies. Our resource persons are Dr. Deepthi from LBS Institute, Trivandrum, Dr. Jeena, Dr. Manu, Dr. Premjit from Amrita Campus, Coimbatore, Mr. Rahul sir from LBS Institute of Technology. This FTP is sponsored by the Computer Society of India chapter of this institute. At this moment, I thank Rajesh sir, Management Committee member of CSI Trivandrum chapter for accepting our invitation. I also thank Dr. Father Thomas Vadikemalaninal, Vice Principal of Vimaljyoti Institute of Management and Research, for being with us today. I congratulate my colleagues who coordinate this event, Ms. Namita P. and Ms. Sritanya M. I also congratulate our former colleague, Ms. Akhila Matthew, for her contribution during the initial stage. I wish all the participants a nice learning experience throughout this program. Thank you, one and all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. We are blessed to have one such person to lead our college. I welcome Dr. Benny Joseph Sir, Principal VJEC, for the Presidential Address.
Good morning all. Reverend Father Jenu, Principal VJEM, Father Sony, Management Representative, Dr. Jidu Vijayasya, Head of the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, the coordinator of this FTP program, Ms. Namita, my faculty colleagues, dear delegates, participants from other colleges. According to the world leader, maybe you can say that one of the best-selling authors of Sapiens and one of the world leaders in the current trends in thinking patterns, Professor Yuval Noah Harari. In the history of mankind, one of the most important milestones is the first cognitive revolution, which is basically the development of human language and the thinking pattern. So we know that the ability which differentiated in the initial stages that our species from other species is the ability to communicate. We know that even other species have got to some extent the ability to communicate. He cites examples like let us say take a group of chimpanzees. They can also differentiate between few words. They got specific language to communicate with a limited vocabulary. Perhaps it has been observed that they got even vocabulary for lion, danger, or food, fruit, warning signs, and so on. But their capability to articulate this vocabulary was limited and still limited. For example, if a chimpanzee sees a lion, it could warn others, or if it sees food, it could inform others, but nothing more. But when it comes to our species, even in the early stages, if a human being sees a lion, perhaps they could warn. In addition, if there is a lion, perhaps the lion is searching for a deer, and if they could find a deer also, definitely a set of human beings would have been communicating and planning that, okay, there is a lion and a deer. Let us hatch a plan to chase away the lion and to catch the deer, or the best route to reach there. So the kind of communication and the evolution of the language is the perhaps the cornerstone of development of human species. That is what he argues. And even in his latest books, he argues that even the human minds are getting hacked with the AI nowadays. So it's a right time that we have taken this NLP with the AI as the topic of FTP. And Massachusetts Institute of Technology, that MIT Technology Review, the magazine, that every year they come out with a list of top 10 technologies or top 10 technologies which are likely to have impact on mankind. And I believe it was in 2020 or 21 edition of this MIT Top 10 Technologies edition. one of the technology cited there was GPT-3. So I was just casually looking at the technologies, but I could identify most of it. But this GPT term I could not make out that time. I was searching for it, and I found that this generative pre-trained transform, which is a linguistic model developed by a company called AI, is a very leading tool wherein it has got the capability to generate human-like language, and independently it could write novels. For example, if you want to write an essay on a particular topic, perhaps you could upload a few similar essays. Then the third essay on a particular topic it will generate by itself. Or with the help of that, online you can see in YouTube number of videos wherein an interview with the Tesla who died long back, or two AI chatbots talking each other on a particular topic, or even a scientific fiction written by AI. So AI is slowly gaining not only this human-like linguistic capacity, passing the Turing test. More than that, it is getting creativity and generating its own, human-like language forms, articles, and novels, and even the uh, a script for movies. So to that stage it has reached, and it is right time that our curriculum also catch up with it. And as teachers, as a part of our lifelong learning, it is quite essential that we also learn about it. And I am quite sure that in the near future, perhaps in the Google Meet itself, I understand that some of the participants will be from other states. Perhaps in the Google Meet, you will get the real-time subtitles in your own mother tongue. The necessity of learning language may disappear because you may have a one of a kind enhanced a translation engine which will do the translation in real time accurately to any language. So in that case, when you travel abroad, absolutely it is not necessary for you to learn any language. With the help of that translation real-time engine, perhaps you could achieve real-time human-like communication with any other human in any other language. It's not distant future, it's already there, but it need to be perfected. Maybe for scientific purpose or engineering purpose, it may have to be fine-tuned. But this is going to happen in the near future. So it is the right time that we take up this topic seriously, and I congratulate the Department of Computer Science and Engineering for having taken up this topic, and I do thank all the resource persons. We have got quite a number of distinguished resource persons who are currently working on the latest trends and technologies in this natural language processing using AI. So I specifically thank Professor Deepthi, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, NBS Institute of Technology for Women, Thiruvananthapuram, and Professor Dr. Jeena, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Amrita School of Engineering, Coimbatore, and Professor Dr. Manu Madhavan, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, again from Amrita School of Engineering, and Professor Rahul C., Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, LBS College of Engineering, Kasaragod, and Professor Dr. Premjit B., Assistant Professor, Center for Computational Engineering and Networking, Amrita School of Engineering, Coimbatore. So I thank on behalf of the college and my own behalf for accepting our invitation to be a resource person and sparing their valuable time and experience. And I thank all the participants for joining this FTP. I'm sure that the time that you allocated for this learning process will be quite rewarding for you in the future. And once again, thank you one and all, and have a nice time and great learning. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. With great vision, strong determination and persistence, everyone is capable of achieving greatness. With us, we have our dear Jinu Etchen, who is vibrant and actively involved in each and every action of VJEC. With great privilege, I welcome Dr. Father Thomas Vadake Mulanjinal, Vice Principal, Vimal Jyoti Institute of Management and Research, for the inaugural address. Welcome, Father.
respected principal, Dr. Benny Joseph sir, HOD and the FDP convener, V. Devasya, the coordinators, Namita, team, and the person who actually delivered the keynote address, Mr. Rajesh P., the secretary, ZSI, Trivandrum, Tritanya MP, the FDP coordinator, all my faculty colleagues, and the participants from the different colleges. First of all, again, welcome again to the Vimal Jyoti institutions. I really, this is the fine morning. Actually, we are doing a lot because this is the first day of this week, and we are having a FDP program on NLP and AI. So when you're thinking about the principle, as rightly said about the need on maybe the development stage of the maybe language processing, maybe not natural, maybe language processing in a natural way. So now we are thinking about how this technology can be useful in the world that is coming. So I will be having a short discourse on how a particular technology can be appreciated by or maybe it can be maybe developed just because being the person who actually uses all the technology platforms, we know that every day and every moment the technology is actually incorporating in all the walks of the life. Like maybe very technology intensified maybe business to non-technology intensified business. So technology intensified business are the areas or maybe the activities where we are using a lot of technology or maybe high fund technology or maybe automation. So this automation actually maybe customized one. So before the industrialization, 18th century or maybe the beginning of the 19th century, we know that everything was made for a particular person, maybe a particular product, maybe a particular service, maybe particular information that was being made for a particular person. That is individualistic one or personalistic one. After the 17th or maybe 18th century, after the industrialization, everything is being mass production. So there are categories are being produced. So a particular shirt having XL or double XL, it is being produced in order to suit a range of persons. It is not a customized one. It is not a tailor-made one. Now the tendency is going back again before the industrialization process that every services, every product will be customized. So I have my own intention. I have my own uniqueness. So whether I will be treated as an individual or unique person in the scenario, that is a question. So from this everything is evolving in the personalistic manner. Even the product, services, and everything is, even information also being customized. So the personalistic attitude or maybe individualistic attitude comes into the world, so that all the technologies are being revolving or maybe around a particular person's need. So when you're thinking about the NLP or maybe any of the automated or maybe the market oriented or maybe person oriented maybe services or goods, the thing that we have to know the person's tendencies, their need, and we have to cater them. Even the medicine also goes to that level, personalistic medicine or instead of generic medicine. So personalistic attitude or maybe individualistic attitude or maybe customized attitude, any person can customize their own maybe the services that they're using, maybe a Gmail account or maybe a social media account. So they have to customize it up. So it is called individualism or individualistic attitude. The people demand more on a maybe custom based items. So when you're thinking about the information or maybe information process, the customization will be happening with the NLP. So I am having my own maybe nature. I have my own languages. Whether this language can be processed by a artificial system. So earlier it was like maybe systematic methods are there or maybe standardized words are used in order to process a language. Nowadays people are not using the standardized process, standardized words, technologies and etc. They are using their own sentiment and feelings. So sentiment and analysis comes with the NLP because the feeling of a particular person may be different from other person. So if the computer system is able to understand and maybe process the sentimental feelings of a particular person, or whether we have to be compelled to use the available vocabulary or available phrases or idioms in order to give a command to the computer, or in order to give a maybe my own idea to the world outside, maybe a marketing world or maybe a technological world. So there comes the personalistic and personalistic attitude. What may be the most important challenge of the natural language process is that the persons are not using the word. That is the one, or a particular phrase or a particular idiom with a different meaning. It cannot be easily understood by a particular system, but it can be easily understood by a particular person. So the challenge is how a computer can be incorporated with the feeling and emotion and maybe an ability to decode the situational issues. It's very easy. You know that okay, the natural language process is actually started beforehand, maybe 80s or 70s. But the process, the challenge, ever evolving challenge is that the person always want to use their own maybe language. You know that the Kerala, maybe slangs may be different. So once the particular person is talking to the computer system, the use of language, the slang, everything will be different. So that is the challenge actually. I feel that NLP will be facing this challenge than a systematic maybe programming. Systematic programming is very easy and we are using a lot of system there. So maybe the systematic words and etc. But the sensitive analysis or maybe sensitiveness of the particular the communication will be the issue actually facing before the NLP and the AI. When you are coming to the AI, so we may feel that there is a text classification or maybe there or maybe chat box we are using. Whenever we are searching for a particular information, the chat box says that, okay, do you have any help? If you are typing some complicated word or maybe some maybe emotional level, so you may not be able to understand that. So chatbots is actually used by everyone nowadays. Most of the persons is actually using the chatbot, and these virtual assistants or the chatbot actually helping the person to maybe drill down the information from the site or drill down the services from the service providers. So text extraction may be very easy, or maybe machine translation may be very easy, or maybe text summarization may be very easy, provided it is a standard format. But I think that okay, maybe when you are typing maybe the message, maybe the mobile file low configuration, the auto correction system is always there. So speech recognition, I think the speech recognition with a different slang and the sentimental analysis may be the most important issues that you have to face on the next level. So whenever the persons are expecting more, so the expectation of the customers is more, and the responsibility of the person who actually programs the organize the analysis, their scope will be a little more higher. So I think that that may be the challenge actually facing by the NLP, maybe automated NLP or maybe machine learning ML. So what may be the demand actually? Whenever we are thinking about a particular technology, being the maybe the person who actually looking for the output oriented one, me belongs to the basic of the management level. So I am thinking that whether what is the maybe the market demand. So 100% we can say that the market is highly maybe expecting more from the natural language processing, because this is the mode of communication and this is the information maybe the transfer. So information transfer takes place from one person to other person, that is maybe non-systematized or maybe non-standardized format. From system to system is very easy, but from the person to person, the communication is being maybe non-standardized one. So how we will be able to manage the non-standardized communication system, as the principal has rightly said at the beginning. So the communication from the chimpanzee or maybe any animal, they are using the limited words, maybe a phrase or maybe expression. But for the human being, the language and the facial expression are also important. That is the second stage. So if you are speech recognition may be easy, but maybe the video recognition, video call recognition may be a little more complicated, because the we'll be considering their own facial expressions, etc. also. That may be the next level. But however, for the management and for the marketing and for the industry, this is the most demanded, maybe demanded technology. And people does not think that their error can be tolerated. They will not be tolerated such an errors. So error-free system building is the most important challenge for that. So market is highly demanded, maybe RNN or LSTM, more technologies are actually you are using in order to stabilize the communication system. And again, we know that what might be the future scope. I think that the future scope is a little more like maybe neuro-robotics. So whether the neuro-robotic can be incorporated with the NLP. So I'm thinking something, whether my pattern can be connected to a system and this system can be maybe translated into the system language. So that may be the next level. So technological upgradation is possible. So what is I am saying that, okay, the three things, one is the market demand, second one is called future scope, and third one is called technological upgradation. Whether the technological upgradation can be incorporated in the natural language processing. Surely there is an emphatic yes. So technological integration is possible. Whenever there is a technology is incorporated or developing, it can be incorporated into the NLP program. So natural language processing is actually a challenge for everyone who actually work on that. Because whenever you are reaching a particular goal, again the expectation of people will be higher than that. Again you are moving to that level, that expectation, again the people thinking more from you, demand more from you. As a common person or maybe the expert person, they are demanding more because the personalistic, or I have said rightly, the beginning, the individualistic attitude and the personalistic attitude to a particular person in order to say, when you are searching for a particular technology is increasing and increasing. So that is why the challenge of these, the person who are actually heading this natural language processing, they will, I think, they will never meet the expectation because the expectation is, the horizon of the expectation is moving forward. So I hope, okay, this short session will be the FDP program. I have seen that okay, there is an interactive sessions or maybe hands-on sessions are there. Hope that this will be maybe motivate you to promote you to work in the natural language process. That may be the service that you can render to the world, the coming future. So I hope okay, these sessions will be helpful for you because expert persons are there as it is being enlisted. So my dear faculty colleagues, those are attending the FDP program, please make use of it. And again, one more thing, whenever you are maybe attending the FDP, even though it is a virtual one, you get connected because whenever you are connected as the maybe neurons, so your maybe capacity and the development is multiplying. So whenever the neurons are being connected or whenever there's informations are being organized, that gives you the wisdom. So in such a way that please do connect each other. So it should not be in a virtual platform. It should not be in an idealistic platform where you will be having all the DPs being visualized. But I hope that there will be some other, maybe the networking discussions will be there during the sessions. So that networking will be helping you to develop or maybe collaborate in the future, maybe work with a project or maybe some maybe the publications or maybe with some maybe maybe the development of your own ideas in a collaboration with others. So intellectual collaboration and the professional collaboration, I think that also will be the part of that. And hope that such sessions will be sometimes or the information will be available all to all participants, and hope that this will be the great time for you. And Vimal Jyoti is established in 2002. Right from inception, Vimal Jyoti is always think about innovation. Vimal Jyoti is always think about developing the encircling community in terms of technology and in terms of support system. So on behalf of the Vimal Jyoti management, I welcome again to the profession, not on the FDP program, but on the continuous program that can be continued even after the closure of this program or the end of the program. So with these words and with the blessing of the God Almighty, I declare this session inaugurated. Thank you.
Thank you, Father. Progress does not demand perfection, only persistence. With great pleasure, I welcome Mr. Rajesh P., Member and Management Committee, CSI Trivandrum Chapter, for the keynote address. Welcome, sir.
Good morning, everyone. Uh, Respected Dr. Benny sir, Father Jinvichan sir, Dr. Jidu madam, and Namida madam. So thank you for inviting me to this function. Uh, sorry, sorry, I'm unable to turn on my video because of the low bandwidth I'm facing. So, congratulations to Vimal Engineering College for organizing such a wonderful program on the natural language processing using AI. So the course objectives are very much interesting, and I don't want to talk too much about AI. And please accept the fact that I'm not an expert in AI also. So, so based on some of the experiences in the past, right? So we have been hearing this word artificial intelligence for quite a long time. So, in fact, you know, I am a little bit critical on this subject. And to certain extent, I'm a victim of this AI also, technology. For example, I don't know how much you are affected, but at least in this part of Kerala, and especially to you know, people like me, I used to get a lot of calls in my mobile phone, right? So many of these are from call centers, which I don't know, how they got my number or why they are calling me, and they are calling me during like very odd hours, as well as uh, 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 at times which we don't expect somebody to call, right? So so the call centers, right? So the call centers are a typical area where this intelligence and the natural language processing are widely used nowadays. But due to the challenges with the algorithms or some reason, or maybe due to some other pressure, uh, you know, the assisted calling, right? So it may not be the human beings that are calling us, but some of the bots are calling us, and it is affecting our personal lives, right? uh, we may be driving, we may be in the middle of something, and we will get distracted, right? So that's why I am saying that I am kind of a victimized with this technology. So when we look at the foundations of this AI, right? So we need to have a strong foundation on the big data and the analytics part and data science and machine learning. So AI is sitting on top of all of this. So uh, uh, so if we are building a program on this natural language processing, right? So we need to have a solid foundation on this you know, capabilities for doing data analytics, and we need to uh, uh, have a good foothold on the data science aspect and machine learning. So in fact, this people you know, somewhere around this 90s, right? So the word AI has moved to so people moved away from AI, and they were focusing much on learning, much on machine learning aspects. So the challenges which NLP is facing is understanding of the language of business, right? For example, the way in which this technology is applied in financial services may not be the same way in which it should be applied in healthcare and legal services, right? And the reduction in the biases, right? So that is again a challenge in NLP, and the grammatical context of what is being evaluated, that's also a challenge. So yeah, I mentioned about the potential applications that potential applications requiring AI improvement. So many of us would have got benefited from the spam filter, right? So that uses an AI technology. So it is it's a benefit that we are getting as it is touching our lives, right? So rather than going through thousands of emails, we may need to look at only 10 emails, right? So there's a spam filter in emails and everywhere, right? Like the messaging systems, social media, etc. So this is a success of AI, right? And as I said, a significant improvement has to be done in the call center aspect. So that is that's an area where this AI can be very much used. And common sense reasoning, like many of the speakers, earlier speakers mentioned about this. So common sense reasoning is again something that need to be applied in any of our models. And of course, chatbots also are an area where this improvements are required, right? So, so traditionally we were looking at some text-based processing, and we were also depending on, to a good extent, on the crowdsourcing of the data, right? So based on these data sets, we were like developing question and answer kind of applications. So now the expectation, or the current expectation, or a lot of significant research are going on in the analysis of not just text, but also images, this voice data, video data, and so these are all evaluated for this natural language understanding. And these identification of entities and relations from these data sets, and combined with this data, the events, right? Events that occurred in the past, right? So so these are all combined together to arrive at the solutions, right? So the solution is would not be applied not just to a question and answer mode, but rather it can be applied in building relationship diagrams, entity analysis, then hotspot maps, machine translation, hypothesis options, etc. And ultimately, getting into a prediction stage, right? So this addition of events, right? So that is an area where a lot of investments and researchers are should be done, right? So so it is something like an outcome based solution, right? It is not just based on some facts, but also based on evaluation of what happened with this set of data in the past, and deriving intelligence based on the events that occurred with this, right? So so that will help in better results of this technology. And of course, going into the technical side, this application of vectors in knowledge graphs, right? So that is a new something new in this area, and that helps solve many of these requirements. So I'm not going into much detail about this. So on behalf of Computer Society of India Trivandrum chapter, once again I would like to congratulate Vimal Jyoti Engineering College for organizing this faculty development program, and special thanks to the CSI student chapter in the college who took this initiative. So I look forward for more such events from the chapter in this college. So thank you once again.
Thank you, sir. Now I welcome Ms. Sridhanya, MV, Assistant Professor, CSE Department and the FTP Coordinator for delivering vote of thanks.
A very good morning to all. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all the dignitaries gathered here. First of all, I thank our respected principal, Dr. Benny Joseph, for the presidential address. Thank you, sir. Next, I would like to thank Dr. Father Thomas Vadake Mulanjanal for inaugurating the function. Thank you, Father. Next, I would like to thank Rajesh sir, the member of CSI chapter, for being the part of the program even during his busy schedule. Thank you very much, sir, for being with us. And I would like to extend our sincere gratitude to our HOD, Dr. Jeetu V. Devasya, for providing all the support for organizing the FDP. Thank you, ma'am. And I would like to thank all the participants over here, whoever joined for the online FDP. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, ma'am. This we have officially come to the end of our inaugural session. Just stay here. We'll start the technical session shortly.